Just because it provides you max load doesn't mean you should go max load.
Yes, it does. Do you charge your phone to full because it can go to full?
It's not the same at all.
It's the same. Okay, ready? When you look at this thing from down low, the headlights are so foggy. This one literally looks like it's pointing up. At least it does in person. I don't know what you guys see. It's also so tiny. Like, I shoved this thing in the garage today and it just barely, like it's like a go-kart in the garage. Like, look how much space this thing doesn't use. It is also super hot, dude, in Ontario. Before it rains, it gets humid. Like, I feel wet. I shouldn't feel wet. On the plus side though, after it rains, the humidity goes away, which actually kind of makes you like happy it rained, whereas in BC, it just rains always. There's no happiness tied into that. But I've actually noticed a couple of these comments on the recent couple videos, so I wanted to just address the beginning of today's video. You guys are seeing me in here. This is actually the beginning of me starting to work here. Ever since we got here, we've just been doing weird little videos. But you guys are gonna be noticing me for a lot of, especially like this Civic build, you're gonna be noticing me working around in here. And so for anybody that missed that, for anybody that has not been following, I don't know what you have been doing. We moved back home. We moved to BC 3 years ago. We lived there for 3 years. We had tons of fun. We moved back home because we're ready to buy a house and we decided we don't want to do it there. Personal reasons, we just didn't want to spend forever out west. So we're back home, we're in Ontario. This is my parents' house, my parents' garage. That's what you're gonna be seeing for now. We're working on buying a house. We've looked at a bunch of houses recently. That's why the videos have been kind of sparse. We have been going full send on buying a house. Yeah, so that being said, this is my parents' garage. One thing that I absolutely hate about working in my parents' garage so far is that I don't have any of my stuff. I have like a couple things laying around, but something that's like a huge nuisance that I've noticed so far is like, I don't have any music in here. I have no good way to listen to music inside of this garage. It's extremely quiet when I'm not filming and I'm just working on stuff. It's just extremely quiet. Thankfully, I was able to find the box that we packed with this baby in it. So you guys have seen me talk about this thing a couple times. This is the Cove Commuter 2. And this thing is honestly, my favorite speaker I've ever had. This thing lasts forever. It lasts like, it says 7 hours, but honestly, I've got more than 7 hours out of this thing. I charge this thing, I can work on my car all day long and use this guy and it does not die. And for that, I love it. Something that's really cool about this speaker also is that when you're in the garage or you're like with other people, if your car doesn't have speakers, I don't know what your circumstance is. This thing turns into 2 speakers. So you got one, you got 2, you can put one on one side of the garage, one on the other side of the garage. You can put these things by the hot tub, you can put these things by the pool, do whatever you want with them. And it sounds like you've got surround sound because you do. And just to prove to you guys that I'm not lying, with this thing split in half on the roof of the Civic, you hit play on these bad boys, they're pretty loud. For 2 tiny little speakers, like, that's pretty good. I could tell you guys more about this thing all day long, but what I think you should do is go visit the link in the description down below and use the code ROB64. You guys can save 64% off on these bad boys right now. Get one for yourself. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. And shout out to Cove Audio. Thank you for sponsoring today's video and helping make everything we do on the channel possible. Anyways, for the last couple, I guess, week, how long have we had this car? A week? I was gonna say last couple days, but I think I've had it more than a couple days. I've had this car for about a week and I have noticed one major problem with it, and that is it looks stupid. It looks stupid. Not only that, but the suspension is hooped. The stock suspension this thing has in it right now is terrible. But when it's out here on the driveway next to this, and you can literally fit your head underneath it, it's not a good look. So it still has stock wheels and thick tires, and like, I haven't done anything to this car yet. This car is still just the way I bought it. It's kind of a poop nugget still. I want to start messing with this thing. We got this thing finally. I got all my stuff switched over to Ontario. I'm allowed to be here now. I'm allowed to drive my cars finally. So it is game on, baby. This, I believe this one is a rear. These are cool. This is like an odd color combo. I kind of like it. So these are actually very similar to the ones that I put on the EG Civic a while ago, except these ones are not the racing ones. You guys remember when we put those ones on, they were extremely stiff. They were advertised as racing coilovers. These ones are the street ones, and they are for 96 to 2000. I was hoping there'd be a part number for you guys, but I don't see one. I'll leave a link to these in the description below. These are the Yonaka street coilovers for the EK Civic, which I told you guys I was gonna build this thing off of nice eBay type stuff. So Yonaka is a brand that is available on eBay, and they are a quality and affordable brand. Like, as soon as I bought this car and we were like, you know what, we're gonna do something affordable but also functional, nice, that won't blow up, it's not gonna die, I'm not gonna put the coilovers on and in 6 months the coilovers are blown, because we had that happen with Courtney's coilovers. So these guys, the price for what you're getting, you just absolutely can't go wrong. 2 rears with new hardware, which is cool because this is an old car, it's probably gonna be rusty, and 2 fronts. So this, yeah, similarly set up. It's gonna have some sort of sleeve in the front, which is gonna be just amazing to get off. And I feel like lowering your car for your first mod, you just can't go wrong. Here they are. I'm gonna leave these ones in the package just for now. These guys are 500 bucks US, which is really not bad. Actually, we gotta decide right now if I'm gonna make this list, this like build list, if I'm gonna do this in Canadian or US. I think Canadian because I did the last one in Canadian and I live in Canada and I paid Canadian, so I know exactly what I paid, you know what I mean? Anyways, like you guys know, you don't put anything on this list until it is on the car and it works and it's all good to go, because you don't want to put something on this list and it doesn't fit or something, then you have something on the list that you gotta cross out, it looks ugly. We don't do that here. This is one of those like yucky winter formats and it jams up underneath the clutch pedal. Do like a drive by the dump and just throw this thing out the window at them. You excited?
It's kind of rattly in here.
Yeah, it's rattly. It's a Civic, dude. What do you think we're in? So right away, when we test drove this thing, I noticed that the suspension was making a lot of noise. This road's not terrible. You guys will see it makes just hella noise. It should not be making hella noise. And then on top of that, this thing like, I don't know if they can see the body roll.
No.
Are you okay?
Yep.
Oh, there it is. Can they hear that, you think? Just trust me when I say that the struts sound blown. Like when you hit a bump, it's like on the top. Shouldn't be doing that. One thing I can confirm though, is that this red line is deep and slow. That's 80 kilometers an hour. I don't know how fast that was, but this thing, no penis. Remember when I said that I thought the rears were blown?
Yeah.
Come, I don't know if you'll know what you're looking at, but come look at it.
All that gunk is what I'm looking at, yeah?
Maybe the light isn't helping. Maybe the camera would do better without the light. Look at that, dude. That is all, that's just the strut is blown and it's all just leaking out of this top seal.
So these are coilovers?
So these are not coilovers. What you're looking at is, remember when I had the original budget build?
Are they springs?
They're those springs that you replace the springs with, but they have a coil sleeve.
Yeah.
These are like budget coilovers. So this is a stock strut, and then you just remove the spring and you put this little adjuster guy with a shorter spring. We've done this, and we knew they sucked, and I knew that's what it was on the second we test drove it, because this is brutal. That's definitely why I thought the rear was blown. Fronts aren't too bad. The fronts you can, I think this is actually the exact same setup we had on the old Civic. I mean, aside from the fact that it is just like completely pooch and rusted, and that torn motor mount is probably why everything shakes so much. This front axle looks like it's about to explode, and for the year it's really just surface rust. Like that's not bad. That can come off. This is the new boy, so you guys can see line up where they're going to be sitting in the top of the car. So I think for starters, why don't we just do that? I feel like once, oh, did that just max out? No, that's max low. All right, well, you know what, we're doing that. I feel like for starters, I'm just gonna slam this thing. And then once we start putting the engine in, if it needs more room, or if it's too dumb low, we'll make it reasonably low.
Just because it provides you max low doesn't mean you should go max low.
Is it? Do you charge your phone to full because it can go to full?
It's not the same at all.
It's the same. I feel like that's so much more complicated than the EG. Like what? Why is there no little door? Look at this, dude. Not only does it not come back up by itself, it like, there is nothing here. This is just free play, like, that's the worst I've ever seen it. Nice. And then for the rears are a full direct replacement. So, a little bit, hey, A little bit easier to understand the rears. You just directly replace the whole thing.
I like to love you every day.
Dude, this thing is gonna be way too low. Unless it's not. I feel like this car is giving me like the it's gonna be way too low look, but it might just be perfectly slammed. I haven't decided yet. I do know from the looks of this, it looks like it's gonna be a hovercraft. While I have this thing up, I'm gonna take these mud flaps off. Hopefully there's nothing hiding behind here. Hopefully they're literally just here to be mud flap. Boom, nice, nice. There's a little rub mark from where it was, but you know what? I can live with that. But I especially hated having these on here because I'm pretty sure, I don't know if there's any numbers on here that you guys can see or use to tell me what these are, but I'm like 99% sure these are for an EG Civic. Like if you look at this side, none of the body lines actually line up. It has a weird gap and then there's like a little ledge down there that doesn't get used. This side looks much better. Also, that's probably gonna tear off now that we're so low.
I like to love you. I like to love you night and day. If I may.
Dude, it's low. It's definitely low. You know the guy that has a Honda Civic that you hate? The guy just like lives in your neighborhood and you hate him and you see him drive by in this exact car and you hate him. I'm that guy right now and it's hilarious. The amount of wheel that is like tucked away, I feel like does not match the amount of ground clearance we still have. This thing still has a lot of ground clearance, which is nice. You can get over anything. It's like, it looks slammed, but it's not.
Hey, it looks totally better already, man. Like nice.
It's weird though, eh? It's like, the wheels, when you look at the wheels, it looks slammed, but the car is not that low to the ground. Okay, so it looks good. Now, I gotta make sure it drives good, boys. Honestly, I'm like almost 100% certain that this thing's gonna scrape coming out of my driveway. Oh, just a little one, not bad. The tires rub a lot when you're turning though. Definitely expecting some good ones over this bridge. Before I got far, I definitely needed some gas, but dude, you can see, actually the sun kind of helped. Definitely see where it's been rubbing, like right here. All these little lines. And I think all it is like this has a lip. So this huge lip that goes all the way back. And when it gets too low, it's just hitting like the bulge right there. You guys can literally see the non-rub and the rub right there. Front one is hitting just a little bit more, dude. We already got, oh, that's not tire. Oh, that's why it was making so much noise. That one was bad. Whew. Honestly, like it's not bad. It's only when you really crank it, like in a parking lot or something. To be honest, it's rubbing because the tires are so thick and they're bulging and the fenders aren't rolled. So I think the car's a little bit too old to roll the fenders. I think it'll probably just break. I'll most likely do some sort of modification, just like cut them or something so that they're nice and flush. I can fit a little bit more meat when we have like way more horsepower in this car. A lot of noise coming from back there, but you can see the speaker like bouncing around because I never put it back together. But like just street driving, just like regular street driving, dude, these are comfortable. These are like really nice. Like I'm talking as nice as anything I've ever driven. You don't even notice you're on coilovers. It's not aggressive. You're not like doing this over every bounce, like every little bump. The alignment didn't get any better, but hey, what are you gonna do? Definitely feels more planted, like 100%. As far as the install, dude, that was pretty simple. It actually went really well, and the car looks dope. You guys gotta let me know what you think, but I think this is like a really nice height for it. Some new wheels and tires. Once the new tires are on, they won't bulge as much. It shouldn't rub so bad. And I'm gonna do something about like, I don't know what for sure, but I might just like, I can't roll this. So all this like almost inch, I might just cut it. Or like cut it half of it and then pinch the rest of it. I don't know for sure, but it's gotta go because it's gonna cause problems. But like I said, those problems aside, dude, this thing looks super tight. Like super cool. I'm actually really impressed with it. Damn. So to be honest, I'm happy with this. I'm not gonna mess with it. I'm not gonna change anything. I think it looks super good. I hope you guys do too. Coilovers. I'll leave a link. Every video I do for this car that there's like an eBay part or whatever, I'll leave a link in the description down below. They were Naka. They cost me in Canadian $650. For reference, I paid $800 used for my ISC coilovers on the BRZ when I had the ISC coilovers. 800 bucks used. So this is still pretty good for brand new. The one thing I'm gonna tell you guys right now, you guys can fill everybody in the comments if you see the masking. This is $650, that's without tax and that's without shipping, because you guys can choose whatever you want. So if you want to pay for like next day shipping, yeah, sure, the price is gonna be more. And if you live in Saskatchewan versus Florida, like yeah, your tax is gonna be different, your whole thing's gonna be different. So this is just base price of what it costs. Anyways, this wasn't actually that bad. Working out of a garage is like kind of fun. I feel like it's super OG. Like I'm like on the floor with the jack stands. I'm like over here, kind of like wedged between the car, and I'm like working in tight space. It kind of felt like OG throwback to like early Civic days. And of course I'm working on the Civic, so I don't know, it was kind of funny. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys liked today's video. I hope you guys are excited to get this thing going. I think it looks good. I think it fits in nicely. So that's all I got for you guys. I will catch you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out and stay committed. Something is so loose, like an engine mount or something. I never noticed that when we test drove it. You're gonna feel the whole engine just going.
Is that what it does?
Yeah, that's exactly what it does. It just backfired. This thing's so funny.